Alright, what's going on? Navy Vet 88 coming to y'all today with another video. This is my top 5 things or firearms that I feel like you should have before the 2024 election starts. It's around the corner, so I feel like everybody should try and get themselves together when it comes to defending your 2A rights, as well as things that could come down a pipeline that may hinder or eliminate you from being able to own and purchase certain types of accessories, certain types of firearms and things of that nature. So like I said, one time for Nipsey in the marathon that we're putting off for LA today, starting off, one of the first firearms that I feel like a person should have is something that they would have on their person. Now would be for any shooter or anybody familiar with firearms, all the way down to somebody who just pretty much knows the only thing of just squeezing a trigger. So first up, we'll have the Glock 43X, as you can see right here. Boom. Very slim package, very slim frame, and my hand, as you can see, pretty much covers the whole entire grip. This is a good shooting pistol. It's very small, very slim. It holds a 10-round magazine, so here you go. Very slim, very light in your pocket. Something that you can carry around on your person, gym bag, whether you're dressed formal or you're down dressing. There are plenty of types of holsters that you can use to carry this. It's a fantastic firearm. The pros to it are you can take it pretty much anywhere without it being noticed. The concealability for it is very, very minimal if you have the right holster. Hopefully a Kydex holster or some type of appendix carry or a 3 or 4 o'clock carry, but you will definitely not notice it if you're carrying it for long periods of time, just because of the ammo capacity is very low. The cons to this, it can be very snappy. So for a new shooter, they can find themselves doing a lot of that versus just taking the recoil. But that would be something from an experienced shooter. So the downfall, like I said, to this for someone who isn't too familiar would be the fact that it's so slim that the concussion and the muzzle rise and the muzzle flip will cause them to become a little uncomfortable. But it is a very easy platform to train on because it's so light. But like I say, the pros and the cons, kind of, you got to weigh them out yourself. And also the distance in which a gunfight you might get into with something of a short barrel like this, it may or may not be the best outside of maybe, we'll say, 15 yards to 25 yards. Now, experienced shooters, people who are familiar with the firearms, shoot often, they can take these and just go to work. It really doesn't matter the distance, but also with the shorter barrel, you lose a lot of velocity. So the stopping power that you might have had in something a little bit longer, it might kind of fall away at a distance. But nobody wants to get hit at the end of the day, whether you're getting hit at 5 yards or you're getting hit at 2,000 yards or 100 yards, it really doesn't matter. Making contact is the most important thing. So yeah, this was the first one. Like I said, Glock 43X, very small, very compact. Pros to it, very light. Cons to it, tend to be a little snappy. All right, next up, we would go with the more of a full-size frame type of firearm. And as you can see here, we have the Glock 19 Gen 5 MOS with the Hollison red dot and the Surefire TLR7 with the Trigicon suppressor height night sights at the top. Now, this is what I would say is my everyday carry pistol. I carry this with me almost 100% of the time. The pros to this is I have the red dot. I have the Surefire. I have a weapon light. I have extra backup sights that are high and they glow in the dark. So even if the dot is out, I still have something to see in the dark because it glows up. Holds 15 rounds. Normally it comes with a 15 round magazine, as you can see. This is standard, and then you can go with things like base plates that pretty much add about 4 or 5 rounds extra to your pistol magazines. As you can see here, this is my spare mag that I keep on a Neo mag pocket clip, and of course you have something that's a little bit more beefier, and this is what I carry inside of my EDC bag. My EDC bag, because of my occupation right now, I travel a lot. We have a lot of clients. I go to different types of areas of the city or of the state, depending on where the client is. And sometimes I might go into a place where having something like this is almost necessary. And then I go to some places where every house in the neighborhood is maybe $1.5 million or more. So I never know the environment that I'm going in. So sometimes I bring something like this in my backpack just for extra, security in case I ever have to get into something where I need that. But I'm already packing 15 to 16 here. I'm already carrying about 20 in my pocket. So if I have to get to the point where I'm in a bag, then it's like a bad day. But this is number 2. This is what I feel like a lot of people should get before the election, because as soon as they get done attacking rifles, this is what's going to be next. Pistols, guaranteed. And more than likely, the first attack that they'll try to take, which has been something that's been taken for a lot of people in a lot of different states like Maryland and California, will be the magazines. They will start making magazine bans to where you can only have 10 round magazines. So for that, having something smaller that has a low magazine capacity, you probably won't have to worry about any of that, because typically you're only going to have a 10 round magazine anyway. But it's a little bit harder to find 10 round Glock mags, or for any other company that might not make 10 round magazines at all. So buy you as many of these as you can. Like I said, this is the number 2 option. Buy as many 15 round mags, as many, big mags. Now, I'm not a supporter of people who move around with magazines at this capacity and this long, but at the end of the day, these are going to be on the chopping block next, because these can go into your pistol caliber carbines, and there you go. You got a whole 9mm situation going on. Also with that, I guess this will be in the number 2 section, which I would consider a home defense gun. And here we have an Ameriglow red dot, just regular sights, Surefire X300 on here. And this is just stock Glock 49 MOS Gen 5 serrations at the top, front and rear, and it's similar to my carry pistol. And I like to keep all of my pistols within the same type of brand. And I feel like when you keep it in the same brand, everything functions exactly the same on each one. And anybody who knows anything about Glock, you already know that all of these functions and operations on these are all the same. So you really can't lose when you're using something like this platform. And I feel like this is the best platform for anybody to operate on. So this would be kind of like in the 2 area of something that you should get before the 2024 election, because you never know who may win and how wild things might get outside. Coming up next, we have the Benelli, and this is the Beretta Nova 12 gauge. I don't know if y'all can see that. So yeah, this right here, this is a staple I feel like people should have in their home defense arsenal, even if it is not your first go-to. And I say that because it's easier to fire and manipulate, because it only calls for a pull of the trigger, and then you drop and slide back, right back in the battery. Pros to this is it has the universal sound, and that sound right there is what I would call the universal sound of danger. Honestly, anybody who hears that, I don't think it matters what country or continent you're in. When they hear that, everybody knows what that means. That is danger, and you don't want to be on the business end of that. So the pros to that is, it has a very aggressive sound to it. It's very accurate at a short distance. It's not anything that I would see myself fighting somebody that's like 50 yards away with this, and it just won't reach out there at the level of a success rate that you would get maybe in an AR or a pistol. So here you go, that's this. So pros to this, very dangerous, very, very loud. As you can see, I have an extended magazine tube on here, so it holds more shells in it, and that pretty much adds, giving you more ammunition, and more ammunition is always better. The downside of it is really heavy, and even without it loaded right now, it's just as heavy as one of my loaded AR-15s. So we haven't even put any shells in there yet. So I feel like this, for a shooter who is not experienced, it can become intimidating. But I feel like this is something that you need to get before the election time, because once the AR-15 models, or the M4 style, AK-47 import bans, once that start, it's just going to start going downhill at that point. Once the ARs are done, then it'll probably come down to the pistols and then the shotgun. So I feel like this is just pretty much preparing yourself for the future for what may or may not happen, but at least you have something. Even if you don't use it, they're fairly cheap. You can get maybe a Remington 870 or a Mossberg 500 for maybe under $500, depending on the type of configuration that you get with it. You have tactical models, you have the pistol grip models, which is the really short shotgun. Remington 870s, I'm not a fan of it, but they do make them and they're not expensive. So I say go ahead and get you one. You know, like I say with my tennis shoes, that I buy some sneakers, like put them on ice, we'll wear them later. But I feel like this is a staple that you should have. So that's 3. Coming up 4th on the list, we're gonna go with the AR15 style pistol. As you can see, we have right here BCM build, and come back over here. You can see Daniel Defense iron sights, Hollowson red dot with the Unity riser mount, quad rail, Surefire M600 light, scout light, pressure pad at the top here, so you can see that. There you go, pressure on and off, audible on, audible off. So this is a great firearm when it comes to, I would say, any type of CQB, any type of room clearing, any type of, you know, just needing to maneuver better. It's the shorter barrel helps, the shorter platform helps, and anybody could get on to using this platform very easily. I've taught people who are very intimidated by using one of these, although they were afraid. I had to explain to them that this is one of the most superior weapons that you could have, period, in life right now as just an individual human being. And the intimidation was, you know, pretty high for a lot of people. And once I showed them, if you just put it in your pocket like this and you hold it with your finger off the trigger and you hold it, that's all of the battle. That's it. And everything else is just pretty much like a piano, just working your fingers. So yeah, pros to this, it is a very shorter rifle, 30 round magazine. It has a light on it, or it has the accessibility for you to mount lights and optics and all of those things on the side, on top. Very reliable. It's sprayed, so it does have like a little tint, so it would stand out, but in the dark you don't have anything to worry about. And in the light, if you check out one of my shorts, you could literally take it outside and throw it in the grass and nobody would even notice it. The cons to it is just, it's a little bulky, it's a little heavy in comparison to other AR-15s that don't have as much accessories on them, or even some that do, but it can be heavy. And that's pretty much the cons to it. I don't feel like there are any other cons to having one of these AR pistols. Next up, we'll go with the, I think this might be 4 or 5, I'm not sure. And just your typical AR-15 style rifle. As you can see, it's a full rifle, 14.5 inch barrel. We have on top the Hollowson, we have the EOTech on top with the EOTech magnifier. For our sights, we have flip up rear sights and flip up fronts, which are Magpul. So if for some reason this goes down, I can always just detach. I could detach the magnifier because it's a quick release on a QD release mount, so I could just pop it right off, and my sights are co-witness directly through this glass. So even if this optic is battery's dead or it just doesn't work, I can still see my sights. So yeah, this is something that you should definitely pick up, because when the shit hits the fan and the bans come, this right here will probably be the first thing that gets attacked under the new legislation, or the new people that are in control. This is going to be the first thing that they go for, and this is the most beneficial way to protect yourself, period. Having one of these or one of these, it really doesn't matter as long as you have one. So I think that was 4. Now 5, what I feel like you should get, and it's kind of like not so much in the firearm area, but this is more so in the accessory areas. So just like I was telling you about the magazines on the pistols and how they might end up getting attacked for bans, these 30 round magazines, which are basic standard 30 round magazines. Right here we have a GI mag, just typical steel mag. As you can see, I put some goon tape on it, and it helps a little bit. It just keeps it from being as slick. But actually, some of the glue kind of like comes through the line, so you kind of get like a little tacky feeling. So it does help a little bit when you're doing reloads, maybe with gloves on, or even just, you know, free-handed. But these are standard 30 rounds, and people feel like because they're 30 round magazines, they're more dangerous now than they were if you would put a 5 or 10 round magazine in them. So buying a lot of these before that 2024 election comes around, I feel like it's a very pivotal move to make. And all of us should be doing it, especially shooters like myself, people who are really engulfed into the culture, the two-way community. They know and understand. And if you don't know and you find it out now through me, you should get you a lot of these. I would say maybe next time you go, every time you go to the gun store, if you just go to peruse, look through the bin. They normally have some of these for like 10, 15 bucks. Buy you one every time you go, and then buy you some ammo. So I guess coming into that 5 category of all of this, these would be something that you should get a lot of. Also, these should be something that you get a lot of, because even if the ruling comes down, you never know when it might change. But I feel like if certain people get into power, magazines will be something that comes into play when it comes to any type of bans or restrictions, anything like that. It'll be 15 round Glock mags, 30 plus round Glock mags. And yeah, so I would say buy them up, keep them. You know, if it comes to the point where, you know, your city, your state congressman or whoever, you know, decides to help push that and say that, hey, you know, we want to put a ban on the magazine capacity, then you already have, you know, a nice little stash put up, because when that law does change, because it won't be forever, you know, you'll be ready to go. You'll be right back to your 15 rounders, your 30 plus rounders and such. But definitely get a lot of these magazines. There's not too many other things that I could really think of that would become an issue outside of them trying to charge you obscene amounts for having this, because they figure it's so deadly that if we raise the price on it, then a lot of people won't be able to purchase it, which means that it would stop a lot of crime. But that's kind of crazy, because people steal, and they'll be able to steal these. So stocking up on your ammo will definitely be a pivotal thing for you to do as well, because we don't know how hard it may become to buy and purchase ammo at some point if somebody gets into office and changes that, because the price of ammo did go up really, really high. Now it's gone back down and it's somewhat reasonable, but I don't see it not shooting and skyrocketing by the time November comes. So if you can, get you as many of these as you can. Get you a couple of the 20 packs when you go to Academy, or you go to whatever store that, you know, you go to that sells ammunition. Get you a few of these, get you a couple boxes of 12 gauge shells, you know, get you some 9mm ammo, and you'll be good to go. Now, that's pretty much all I have to say about those. Oh, also, this right here, this brace has been under attack for the better part of 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. I'm not sure, maybe since it came into play. Maybe about a year after it came into play. So yeah, these are by SB Tactical. This is SB4 Tactical brace, as you can see. And that's the only reason why I'm able to put it on such a short barreled AR15. So it's considered a pistol, but these right here are what's gonna be on the chopping block for sure. That's a guarantee. They've already done away with it and made ruling for it to be okay after like a year's fight or so, 2 years fight, but that's not to say that they're not gonna go right back to it again. So picking up your AR pistol, if you're looking for something that'll be a little bit shorter, and you need something that'll be more maneuverable through your home, or you just want to train with something that's a little more maneuverable when you're clearing rooms and going down, turning corners and stuff like that, then, you know, by all means, go ahead and grab you one. But I feel like it is somewhat of a must-have at this point in society right now. So like I said, that 2024 election is coming around the corner. I want to make sure that everybody knows a few of the things that you should probably go ahead and pick up. From the least to the greatest things that you would probably see a change in, I would say from the least would be any type of handgun bans or anything like that. I think that's the least of our problems. Handguns will be fine. Next, building up from that would probably be magazine capacity, and having magazines that hold more than 15 rounds. I think that would become number 2. Number 3 would probably be these. So it would be between these, might be the second thing that they go after, you know, whatever, the least thing, I guess, working my way up. So yeah, these would probably be about, you know, third. That small pistol, that'll be last. These would be about third. Secondly would be this. I feel like this would be second. The AR pistol, the shorter barrel AR pistols, I feel like these would be next. And then on the top end, you have your AR15, just standard AR15. I feel like these will pretty much hit the chopping block first. They'll try to take these away. They'll try to put legalities and different types of legislation in place to just come and get them all. Whether they're taking them by force, forcing a buyback program, or just making them illegal to own and possess. Or, like in some states I know, it has to be configured to a point where you can't completely remove your magazine without completely opening up your upper receiver, pressing the button that depresses it out, and then you can only have 10 rounds. So it's supposed to, I guess, help with reloads in case they find somebody in their you know, way of thinking of trying to assault somebody or rob a bank or shoot out with the police or whatever. If you're a law-abiding citizen doing that, then you only have a 10-round mag. If you have magazine restrictions, you run out of your first 10, they pretty much assume that, well, okay, you're out of 10, so now you're gonna have to reload. So you'll have to break this down, pop that mag out, put another mag in, put it back together. So it takes time. So I can kind of see the logic behind it, but at the end of the day, I shouldn't be capped on the amount of ammo that I can have, because I don't know what situation I might find myself in. Sometimes you need suppressed fire, and if anybody don't know what suppressed fire is, you can't lay down suppressed fire. So if I had, say, this Glock 19, well, I'm sorry, this is the Glock 49. So if I had this Glock 49 and I needed to possibly get a person from one place to another and I needed them to run there, I would pretty much just dump this off in their direction of whatever the assailant or attacker is, and we'll just dump, you know. And just because I'm sending rounds down range, typically nobody's gonna try to shoot back at that point. They'll be taking cover, give the person time to run, get to a safer space. There you go, suppress fire. So yeah, that's it for this video. I pretty much went over everything. Like I said, I had to do this video twice now, and I'm glad that I got to the camera. Well, I take it back, my wife got the camera working, so I'm glad she was here, because I would have been pissed had I not been able to get that volume back. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for tapping in, tuning in. Hope y'all like this video. Like, share, subscribe it. I appreciate everybody who's subscribing already. Every time I get onto my studio, like, I'm seeing y'all, like, y'all rocking with me, y'all tapping in, so I appreciate that. And anybody wanna like I said, anybody wanna link up, do any type of collaboration situation, I'm open to you know, different ventures, rocking with different people, even if it's going to do something that, you know, I may already be very proficient in, certain types of shooting styles, training or whatever. But, you know, I'm still, you know, open to go and work with people, because this side of the business I don't understand, and I'm learning it as I go. So I wouldn't be inclined to turn down somebody who is offering to help, you know, do something together, work something out. I'm gonna learn something, you know, and we should, you know, we shoot forward from there. So I appreciate y'all. One time for Nipsey. We got the marathon on Marathon Fridays, real LA stuff. And that's pretty much about it for the day. So I'm gonna holler at y'all.